Welcome to the Holy Shhh Podcast, AEW Dynamite post show for November 27, 2024, the day before Thanksgiving. It's your boy ABE from DET.
I am that bald bro from the NYC.
We here in the building, man. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. For those who seeing this now, man. From Detroit all the way to New York there, brother. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, man.
Let's get into this AEW Dynamite. Starts off with MVP and the Hurt Syndicate. Let it be known that AEW, they intend to do one thing, and that is hurt people. And it started a little chant with the song. It's gonna pick up steam. I see that coming, man.
Oh, it already is. I mean, I was at Full Gear at the Prudential Center, and I don't know how it came up on TV, but MVP leading that "We Hurt People" chant the most of the match. Like, trust me, that's gonna pick up. That's already picking up. Like right now, it's just gonna get better the further we go down the road.
Exactly. He goes on bragging about Bobby Lashley getting his win over Swerve over the weekend. And then he says, anybody who got a business card, just know you got to pass. But anybody else, pain is coming your way, basically. I like Hurt Business being put out front right now. It feels like they're important.
Yeah, I mean, like you think about that, the act that opens the show like post pay-per-view, like because the show after a pay-per-view, you're setting the tone going forward the next few weeks until the next show. So Tony putting them out front and center, been what, almost a couple months now. I think they haven't even hit their stride yet. I think they're getting better with every weekend. We'll see, like those guys that he's talked about that got that cards. We'll see. Like we'll talk about one a little later, but let's see if before the year they add a couple of extra members before we hit 2025.
I was just about to ask you that, man. Did you think that they were going to add members? I definitely think more are coming. I think they just want to solidify the core first.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing about them. There's absolutely no rush. I mean, but Bobby and Shelton right now they're killing it. So no rush. I mean, I'll be okay if they don't add anyone. The rest of this year. Wait for next year. Wait for 2025. But yeah, man, good things are coming for the Hurt Syndicate.
Definitely. And speaking of good things, next up, Shelton Benjamin defeats Mark Briscoe in the Continental Classic tournament, receiving 3 points in the Blue League. Once again, just like you said, good things coming to the Hurt Business. Shelton Benjamin looked good. I didn't see this matchup on paper being as entertaining as it actually was. I was like, all right, Briscoe held his own, or maybe that's just touche to
To
Cedric
Shelton.
Alexander for being such a great worker.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think Excalibur mentioned on commentary that they've had experience together. I think in previous tag team action, so maybe when Sheldon like in his indie days, I think they've had interaction before, so it ain't their first time together. So I think they had good chemistry, and it's Mark Briscoe. You're always gonna get a good match out of him, but damn, that end like those super kicks, those suplexes, those release German super right on the back of Mark's head, but he's chicken, so he could take it no problem. But damn, man, like the Sheldon got the best super kick in the game right now. Them shits like ain't no thigh slapping. He's taking your head off with that super kick. I mean, great showing from Shelton, man. And listen, I just love the bracket he's in. Dude, like I don't know when it's gonna be, week 2, 3, 4, but we're gonna get that match with Okada, man. Like that's gonna be must see TV, and that's gonna be like the showcase where he just shows like everyone in how underutilized he was in the past few years in WWE. That even though he's 48, 49, like dude is still. I mean, damn, he's still moving like it's damn 2003, 2004. Showing breaking down against Triple H, man, it's crazy.
And I liked how they didn't call it a super kick because that's used so much. He called it a thrust kick. I appreciated that. It gave it a little more importance than
Yeah.
just Young Bucks and everybody else going around super kicking everybody. So
Hmm.
Sheldon is being booked properly so far, man. So far. Next up, though, Mercedes Moné is on the ramp talking to Tony Schiavone, saying how she got the job done, somewhat insulting Camille, how she couldn't. She was about to go on and fire Camille, but Camille grabs the mic, stops her in her tracks, and tells her, I quits, walks out on Mercedes Monet, leaving her pissed off, and the crowd chanting, You deserve it, sending Mercedes Monet into a frenzy. I could definitely see her versus Camille in some type of way coming soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the route they go to maybe World's End next month. I mean, and maybe that will like set up maybe a new hired muscle coming in for Mercedes down the
Mm,
line. You know, maybe sort of Megan Bain might come into the future. You know, she's been rumored for months, like almost this entire year, coming to AEW. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, listen, Mercedes is coming off that incredible match at Full Gear. Like I told people, listen, coming off that injury, time, patience. She's getting her feet. She's got her feet underneath her. I think she's confident now how she's moving in the ring. You know, whether she's bumping, hitting the ropes. I think she's now in a groove. I told people that was gonna be her get right match heading into 2025 next year. I think she's off. She's gonna be set up for great success next year. But yeah, I think the next step will be a program with Camille next month at World's End.
definitely. And for people giving Mercedes Monet crap, the hell with you. She's already been there a few months. Camille wasn't a character before Mercedes got there. Guess what she is now? A character that's going to stand on her own in the solo division, built up by Mercedes Monet. So she may not be doing the job people want her to do, but she is definitely doing her job in the world of professional wrestling over in AEW. So back off Mercedes, please.
People call for her demise way too soon. Like,
Way too
you know,
soon,
I,
man.
I was
Way.
on I was on TikTok live. I think a couple nights ago. I'm like, listen, just because the doctor says, yo, you could come back from this ankle injury like 8 months, 12 to a year, whatever. Do like shout out to Nasty Leroy, independent wrestler who was on my live the other day. Good friend. He listen. He knows about coming back from injuries. Like your body got to get used to hitting the ropes, taking those bumps, taking those flat back bumps. But it's also mind over matter, man. You know that one bad step. It's listen. Your one bad step or one bad fall, then it's all over. Remember that ankle injury was almost a career ender for her. So I think it was more. She had to get more over the mental hurdle in her, that was maybe in her way. But I think she's free of that now. So I think we're going to get the best Mercedes going forward.
For sure. Shout out everybody on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook Live right now. Shout out Chief TV on TikTok saying solid episode, no cap. Yes, Chief, it was a solid episode, man. This was no complaints here at all. Keeping it rolling though, Chris Jericho defeats Tomohiro to retain the Ring of Honor title at the beginner. It was a slap fest. It made the crowd chant slap forever. And then that's exactly what they did. It felt like it was just slaps for like 5 minutes, but entertaining match. Chris Jericho gets the dub. Your thoughts on the Nueve?
Bro, like it's sequences like that that just like yo, I'm good just watching at home. I don't need to get in that ring or get in that action. Like, yo, them damn chest chops. I mean, then the slaps, then the forearms. I'm like, yo, Jericho at his age and his standing in AEW, he could easily go to Tony Khan and be like, yo, I ain't doing none of that shit, man. Like, I ain't doing that. But if Jericho's standing, he's calling his shots. He could do whatever the hell he wants. He wants to do this stuff. He wants to get down and dirty. He wants to get busted open hard way, like through his mouth, nose, like bleeding through his chest and everything. Like, I mean, listen, say what you want about him, but he's still out there putting the work, putting the effort in. I mean, he picks up the win, and we'll see where we go. We got final battle in a few weeks. I mean, I say maybe Samoa Joe might be the guy to come back. He's done filming Twisted Metal too, so I think that makes most sense. Remember, it was Jericho and kayfabe that took out Joe with that forklift and that little street fight that a couple months ago. So
True.
yeah, I think that's the next direction that they'll go with Jericho versus Joe at Final Battle.
Yeah, I see receipts coming for sure with
Hmm.
Joe I mean, with Jericho's name on it, Joe don't forget a thing. Trust me, man. So I could
Not that
definitely see that
that
coming.
big ass noggin of his, man. You get that's a damn Fort Knox up there of
Right.
memories you gotta keep up there.
Shout out my guy Wicked on TikTok. What up, brother, man? Happy Thanksgiving. Next up, though, we got Swerve is interrupted backstage by Max Caster, who throws shade at Swerve, calling him out for being on a losing streak. This, of course, sets off Swerve, who whoops the so-called best wrestler alive, Max Caster, to remind him whose house? Swerve's house. So yeah, I like Max Caster being involved a little more in the singles, especially something important like you bumping into Swerve. That would be nice, getting them a match in the future. You want to call yourself the best wrestler alive. Let's see. Let's see you go against Swerve. See how you do.
Yeah, man. Let's see how it goes. I mean, it's kind of weird that like if you're on social media, you see how he is on Twitter. His persona on Twitter, social media is now leaking over to his character on screen character. Now, just the cockiness, the brashness, like him in his own mind thinks that he's the best wrestler in the world. But I'm sure a lot of us we think otherwise. But it just further pushes the divide between him and Bowens. I think the acclaims days are over. And like you said, it gives clear direction for both Caster and Swerve where their next program might go. But let's just keep in mind, Caster was one of those guys who did receive a card from MVP. So
Mm,
that's always we gotta keep that in the back of our head. Like that's always something that might come up around the corner. But we'll see in the next few weeks. But at least like this was another backstage segment that it had purpose. It's a little foreshadowing to the future. But like I said, let's just remember he got a card from MVP. So let's see if that plays in going down the road.
I need to look up a list. I know somebody has it on the internet. Who all got a card? That's what I need to know.
I know Caster,
Okay.
Ricochet, Leo Rush, Mercedes.
Mercedes.
So that's four off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's four for sure. Yeah. Did
Yeah,
Hobbs get one?
no, but I think last time we talked about it, like that's why I was listen, in a perfect world, a perfect guy that fits in that group. You talk about like Hobbs that can have the mouthpiece like of MVP, talk for him, and then damn, who better for him to go to be tutor like a mentorship than with
Right.
Bobby Lashley right there. I mean, bro, that's like 1 + 1 = 2 right there. The
100%.
math makes sense. It's imagine that visual. You got MVP in the middle, and then right behind them could be Hobbs, and each side you got Shelton and Lashley. Like, bro, with like 2025, we cooking, man. If that's the direction we going.
Let's pray that they are headed in that direction. Hobbs, hurt business, money. Next up, though, Hangman Page and Switchblade Jay White are arguing back and forth about who's the number one contender. And out comes Mox and the Death Rider, who lay waste to both Hangman and Switchblade. One of the most powerful moments was seeing Marina hit Jay White with mother's milk, putting him to sleep in his unconscious, lifeless body, getting stomped out by the Death Riders. He just laid out, not fighting back at all. Them boys are sick, man.
Yeah, man. You know what? The way it's looking right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we go the triple threat route. The next match down the line. But
Triple threat is for who?
maybe you got Jay White, you got Hangman there. It would make sense. You'll be a one on one with Jay White. I mean, he's beat Hangman 2 pay-per-views in a row, former champ right there. But I have a feeling unless he gets knocked out kayfabe wise, like Hangman ain't just gonna sit back and let that slide one on one. So I don't want to be surprised if he gets involved in the mix. Damn, that's a sick triple threat right there. You get with that Mox, Hangman, and Jay White. But of course, we got to remember in the background, you probably got Christian Cage lurking around. So he'll definitely play a factor into that setup if that's the route that we go to. But yeah, listen, Marina like putting this dude to sleep. That's a visual like I can't remember the last time that we had. But Yeah, man. Well, I'm just curious. I'm gonna ask you, yo, do you think that championship is in that briefcase?
The way he hit him today, it felt a little hollow. I didn't think it was in there, man.
I don't know, man. I just think maybe this entire time, like, something's up. I don't know. You look at the briefcase, I'm like, yo, that don't look even big enough to hold
It
the,
don't.
the championship. Because trust me, like, you look at the AEW title, like, anyone who knows title belts, it's not that far from old Big Goldie from WCW
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know, man. Like someone, someone mentioned it on Twitter. I'm like, damn, that's right. Like that don't look big enough for the belt. So I don't know, man. That's something to keep an eye on down the road, down the line.
Definitely, definitely. But I just love the way the Death Riders are being portrayed.
Mm.
We just had to give it time. It didn't seem right after Danielson getting the bag choked on him. We had to let the pieces fall together, and they starting to. I called Marina's mother's milk move one of the best move months ago, way before she showed up with Moxley. So to see her actually pull that off tonight, shout out to Marina, man. I'm telling you, she is figuring out her character.
Improved leaps and
Yes.
bounds, like that. Like you just said, like she's a perfect example. Like yo, just give them time. Like there's just certain talents that they got to find the right situation, the right purpose that like when it clicks. And like I can't think of anyone else, any other female on the roster who would be a better fit for what they're doing than Marina. She has legitimacy. I mean, she was at Joshua Barnett's Bloodsport over the weekend, so she could legitimately kick some of these dudes' asses. So like nobody else fits that role perfect from her. So I appreciate at least patience on the creative side of things. Like with her, let her. I mean, dude, she's with Mox. I mean, dude's a pro. So if anyone's gonna help guide her to success, it's gonna be Moxley.
Yeah. Shout out Tony Hayes. He says, "Greetings, everyone. Is this thing working?" Yes, you are live,
Yes, it
brother. What
is.
up, though, man? Yeah. A hell of a showing right there. But next up, Claudio defeats Ricochet to pick up 3 points in the Gold League in the Continental Classic tournament. Just like the Death Riders, I like Claudio. He's being booked strong lately, too, feeling like a monster. And what happens later on in the evening makes it even more solidified that
Mhm.
he is being looked at as even he may not be a big guy, but we know Claudio wrestles heavy and strong. And this gives him size and his move set. But your thoughts on Claudio getting the win?
I mean, listen, like Claudio's a beast, man. He could do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, yeah, he's a big, powerful motherfucker, but I mean, dude, he moves like a cruiserweight too. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there were a couple of spots in the match with Ricochet that little sloppy, maybe a couple of spots that were a little hesitant, but I think it picked up the second half of the match. I mean, Ricochet is another guy that I say, give a little patience. I think he's gonna get his footing. This tournament, I think, will set him right. Heading into next year. You know, I was shocked by the finish though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Claudio, he put the beating on Ricochet towards the end, but to finish him off with that clothesline, I wasn't expecting like the three to come so easy. But like I said, Claudio was putting in that work like towards the last 3-4 minutes in the match, and like you
Yeah.
said, at the end of the show, we find out like he has purpose. This tour like I said before the tournament started, this isn't just like no random matches. Like there are a handful of stories and directions that they're gonna go in this tournament. That it's only night one, and we're already seeing a couple of instances play that out before our eyes. So, I mean, like I said, it's only the second match of the tournament, but we're off to a great start though.
Yep. And he says, "Is Marina going to beat up Rowdy when the time comes?" She'll beat up anybody, I think, for Mox. I think sometimes I like to keep in front of sometimes I like to keep a controlled fryer in front of my face for a few seconds.
All right,
All right, keep yourself alive there, Hey, if that's a reference towards Marina being around Moxley, I guess you're right. Maybe that's what you meant.
maybe.
Maybe. Next up, Adam Cole comes out to warn MJF. He's gonna pay, but Kyle comes out wanting a piece of MJF as well. Until the devil himself comes on the screen, lets them both know I'll be fighting neither one of you as I'm gonna focus on the battle royal coming up to see who's going to fight for my diamond ring. And of course, this takes Adam Cole to put his name in the hat. Kyle O'Reilly puts his name in the hat. Instantly, the diamond ring tournament is made a little more significant now that these two guys are getting into it. Can we see Adam Cole versus MJF in the finals for that ring?
I mean, we could, but I mean, like you say, we got Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in there,
Yeah,
so I don't know. I think that they're gonna drag this out a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle wins it and we get Kyle versus MJF instead going forward. You know, like I said, it spaces out. You know, makes Cole chase a little bit more to get to his end goal, which is MJF. But I mean, listen, I'm gonna be keep it on with you. This got to pick up already. We gotta get going. I mean, I'm trying to give this little patience, you know, but it's like I don't know. Right, for me personally, right now, it's not hitting. You
right,
know, it just seems a little forced. I understand maybe they're trying to pick back things up before you know, Cole's injuries, but it's hard for to make it work if MJF can't even be in the building because he's out filming movies right there. So it's like, you know, it's not getting enough attention and, you know, to the finer details that this story needs. So like I said, if it needs to pick up in the Dynamite the Diamond Ring tournament, but if not, then I think the sooner we end this story, the better.
right. Shout out to the Wrestle with Ready crew and a special shout out to my guy JG Beats 734. Y'all go follow him and Ready. They got a great show they do every Friday and if I believe it's Monday as well. But check them out for I think it's pre Raw and pre SmackDown Wrestle with Ready. Yeah, definitely check them out. But yeah, man, I agree with everything you said, man. It's getting a little stale. We got to figure out where we going here. Let's speed it up, man.
Hmm.
Speed it up, man. Don't do the Triple H and do the long term story building. It's a little bit too long. All right.
It's bro, it's okay to say, all right, this ain't work. Let's either pivot another angle through the story, or just like Joe, just wipe the slate clean. But
Exactly.
if it's gonna keep going like this, then let's end it before 2025. Turn that calendar over, and then we just find a new direction for all parties included.
Yeah, yeah. But the men's Continental Classic, the women's, they have their own tournament going as well. And Jamie Hayter, she defeats Queen Aminata to advance in their tournament. I like Queen Aminata. One day I want to see her get her just due, but Jamie Hayter is definitely the right decision here.
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. This past Saturday night at Full Gear, like Statlander, Mercedes, they set the standard for what women for that women's division, and I think going forward, I hope the rest of the roster looks at that like, yeah, that's the standard. That's what we got to try to keep up with. And I think, hey, you know, for a television match, like Hater and Aminata, like they knocked it out of the park. Like that was a straight up. I mean, they're so similar, like in size and strength and speed and everything. Like, it's good to see. Like, I think Hater, like another one coming back from injury. I think she's got like her legs underneath her. She's moving better. Like, she's moved a little faster now. But you know, it was a great back and forth match. Like exchanging the slaps, like kind of like Jericho and Ishii earlier in the night. But I mean, some great reversals at the end, like some small packages, pinning combinations. But Hater at the end with the that Haterade clothesline, like dude, which is small, compact but powerful as hell, picks up the dub. But we get you know, Julia Hart tease, lights
Yep.
out. You know, a little bit of mind games right there, maybe something down the line. I'm interested to see where we go with that feud because I'm like, you know, you have Hater who's been back a couple months, but now Julia Hart coming back, like, you know, I like it. She's coming for one of the top dogs in that women's division. So we'll see, man. Listen, I was a big Julia Hart fan when, you know, before, you know, unfortunately the injury happened. Like, I love the vignettes that they've done for her so far. Dude, like, can you believe she was the cheerleader for the Varsity Blondes
Can't
three,
believe it,
three,
man.
4 years ago, bro? Like, you talk about just switching it up, and like, she was the one I think who volunteered. She wanted to be with the House of Black, and good on her making that decision. But yeah, man,
Oh,
maybe like next year, I'll be in to Julia Hart, Jamie Hayter program. Let's see where that goes.
it's funny you just mentioned Varsity Blonde. I was gonna make a reference, but let me read this comments before I hit my reference real quick. Tony Hayes says Queen Amanada needs to go to NXT soon. I'm going to disagree with that, and my comment is going to prove that. If we talk about NXT and AEW, sometimes for some people it may work, others it may not. Now we was just talking about the Varsity Blondes. If we look at this time, maybe a few years ago when that group was together, and you looked at all of them, and you look at them today, and everybody going to say Brian Pillman Jr. He went to AEW, he did his thing, but has he done his thing bigger than Julia Hart? I do not think so. I watched
Absolutely.
both shows, and I think Julia has hit a level that, even though without the NXT machine and all the glitz and glamour WWE provides, he has not hit that ceiling that she's hit so far yet. I don't think so.
No, I mean, and what's even worse is that, dude, you look at the NXT roster right now. I think what was it, a week or two ago when I was on the NXT post show with you, like you and Don, like, dude, the women are killing it right now in NXT. But let's be honest, that's because the men's division in NXT is so damn thin. I mean, listen, with all due respect, to goddamn what's his name challenging Trick for the match.
Rich Holland.
Yeah, listen, all due respect to Rich Holland, like I know I love Shayna. I know Shayna loves her some Rich Holland, but I'm sorry, like that just says something about your division when Rich Holland is the next is the challenger for Trick's championship. Like I thought it would have been Obafemi, but I'm like Obafemi just said, all right, as soon as he lost that belt, like all right, I'm out. Like made no absolute sense. They got and like you said, back to Brian Pillman Jr., the fact that he's not even ascending up that card with how thin the men's roster is, I mean, that just shows like we you can call for this guy or this gal to go to the machine, but you know what? Like the machine can only do so much for you. You don't have that extra that it factor, then it's not going to work out.
Right, right. I know we talking AEW, but you brought up Ridge Holland, and it got me thinking: how funny would it be if Big E shows up for the 10-year anniversary next week? Ridge Holland shows up with a chair to finish off the neck that he didn't finish off in the first place.
Oh
That would make him the biggest heel ever if that happened.
man, listen, I'd just be scared as hell in that situation because it's like I mean, we've been following the updates, through the years with Big E, like him trying to do stem cell like therapy and all that stuff. I mean, has his neck and stuff like that. I mean, well, I assume they wouldn't do anything crazy without him
Nah,
being
nah, nah,
cleared
definitely
or
not.
anything like that. But nah, yeah, I mean, just the visual of him with the chair near Big E, like, god damn, you're gonna get some like freaking just core memories pop up, and people are just gonna be pissed, man.
Right. But back to AEW. The main event, Brody King defeats Darby Allin, and afterwards, like we were saying earlier, Claudio comes down to pick the bones of Darby Allin, but Brody King wasn't having it. Wrapped the chain around his hand, hovered over the body of Darby, and Claudio gave Brody King a look like, you know what we've been doing around here lately. So you picking your side? All right. I like that he didn't have to say nothing, but he said a lot, drew the line in the sand, and I am looking forward to Brody King versus Claudio.
Bro, like first off, like Darby and Brody King, they're like on the level of like a Hangman and Swerve. That those two like define what Fight Forever is. It's like whenever those two get in the damn ring together, you're gonna see a damn car crash. Like it's like they're the perfect dance mates for
Yep.
each other. I mean, first off, let's talk about Darby coming to the ring. He's bandaged up. He's basically hopping on one leg to the ring. He's hopping on one leg, circling Brody. And here's a key thing: like they shake hands before the match because even though like they've had so many matches, like they, they I think they got that inner respect for each other, just as Warriors being. But it's like, of course, I mean, the match played out how we thought it was. Brody's gonna throw Darby around like a damn rag doll, but Darby's just gonna keep coming back, scratching, clawing, like just spamming coffin drops, like just dives, like just trying to take off motherfuckers head like he Troy Polamalu, like from the damn Steelers days. But
Shout out Palomalu.
yeah, man. But dude, like the spot of the match was freaking Brody trying to do the cannonball outside, It's the
Ooh,
barrier. The feed cuts a little bit, and then the audio was actually down for a few minutes. But I like what they Excalibur did. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but he played it off great, saying that it was Brody's like little dive on the outside that cut the feed from everything. I mean, it makes sense. He's a massive dude, but I mean, like Jesus Christ, great reversal by Brody. Like Darby trying to do the coffin drop, caught him in a sleeper, and then just picks him up. It's the Gonzo bomb, 1, 2, 3, and like you said, Claudio coming out with the chair, but Brody coming in trying to saying, nah, man, it's not gonna work, man. Here's a little
right.
foreshadowing right here. You notice the past few weeks with House of Black, like their attitudes changed a little bit. You had Malachi shake hands with
Adam
Adam
Cole.
Adam Cole. They're starting to move like faces. So
Mm-hmm.
down the line, whenever Darby goes back at Mox, like, does he have backup now in the House of Black? Like, you tell me, a four on four right there, like gang warfare, the House of Black and Darby versus Death Riders, man. Like, dude, sign me up.
And Tony agreeing with you, saying Darby still has to climb that mountain, right? Right. Yeah,
Hmm.
you do. I agree, man.
Absolutely.
I agree. I don't know if it'll be the mountain that Moxley stands on top of. Time will tell, but we will see.
It's got to be Darby. It's got to be
Darby.
Darby. It's got to be Darby to take the belt off him. I mean, in a way, it will fulfill that kind of like that ending shot from Wrestle Dream when, like I said, it was all the young guys surrounding Cassidy after Danielson was taken out. Like Darby is that last piece
Mm,
right there to kind of fulfill the young guys taking back the show. So, it, in my opinion, it can't be anyone else but Darby to take that belt off of Moxley.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Solid AEW Dynamite tonight, the night before Thanksgiving. Scale of 1 to 10, though. What you giving it, bar, bro?
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Like I said, I think all the Continental Classic matches were great. Love the Aminata and Hater match. I mean, the Jericho Ishii match, it is what it is. I mean, nice hard hitting action. Like I said, the Adam Cole MJF stuff, like we got to figure out what we're going through, and we got to figure it out sooner than later. That kind of dragged it down um a little bit for me, but yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah, solid. I'm around the same thing, about an 8.5. I wouldn't mind giving it a 9, but we got no Thanksgiving food fight match. I wanted some of that, man, tonight, man. We needed
Yeah,
some type of
man.
gimmicky Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm trying to think. Damn, we didn't get that on Monday. We didn't get that on Tuesday. We didn't get from nobody. We didn't get that from
Nobody.
nobody
Nobody.
this week. So yeah, I think
Nobody.
that's the first. But
Yep.
so let me ask you, like, before we go off, man. Continental Classics going full tilt right now. So I got my picks. I got my pick for gold. I got my pick for blue. I got my pick for overall. What about you?
I haven't even broke it down yet.
Well,
I have not.
how about this? I'll break down my picks. Maybe you thinking while
Let me hear
I
what you got first.
so right now, so out of the gold bracket, I got no matter. of fact, let me start with the blue bracket. Blue bracket, I got the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. I got Okada
Mm,
coming out of the blue bracket. I think he'll survive that bracket. And the gold bracket, dude, like this is gonna be insane. I think even though he took an L tonight, I think he's gonna lose his first couple matches, but he's gonna go on that Eddie Kingston comeback route, and Darby Allin's gonna win
you
the
got
gold
Darby.
league. So I got Darby versus Okada in the
Hmm.
final. Not yet for Darby, not yet. I think Okada wins the entire thing. I
Hmm.
think Darby will get so close to toppling one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but he's not there yet. He's not ready yet. He's close, but it's just not good enough. I'm going with Okada winning
Okada
the
to win the whole thing.
yes.
I'm not mad at that at all. If I had to, I'm looking at the brackets now. If I had to pick, I'd probably say, man, this is hard, man.
Yeah,
All right,
man.
I'm gonna do personal. What I think logistically, I think they might want to get to Ricochet, Okada, something like that in a final. Ricochet coming out the blue, Okada coming out the gold. Personally, I'd like to see Powerhouse Hobbs versus Buddy Matthews in the final. That's just me
They're
personally.
not. They're not in it though.
They're not.
No, no, no.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong bracket then. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the complete wrong bracket.
You,
Damn
you
you, TikTok.
you know what's crazy, man? Like there are so many like different finals that they can do like that would be storyline based. You
Right.
you you could go freaking old school New Japan like and have freaking Osprey and Okada in the damn final.
But
You know.
regardless what bracket, I want Okada. I feel like Okada needs something serious right now, man. So
Yeah,
this could be a statement for him.
absolutely. But you know what? This Saturday we got Okada versus Daniel Garcia. You know the first round match. I'm calling
Yeah.
it right now. That's going to a time limit draw.
They're gonna let the whole time limit go. All right. I see
It's
that.
20 minute time limit. But here's the thing: Garcia just won the TNT title this past Saturday. I don't want his first match coming back being a loss, but also you don't want Okada losing his first match either. I think you make Garcia look very strong. Like he stood 20 minutes toe to toe with the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. That's good. Like great start right there. 20-minute time limit draw. I'll give you the scenario right now. Garcia got the Dragon Tamer on him. He's leaning back just like he did Jack Perry Saturday night, right when Okada's about to tap. Ding, 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 ding. Time limit draw right there.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I could
Garcia get
definitely see that.
Garcia gets elevated, but he even without his getting hand raised, so yeah, I think we get a draw in that match.
I like where Garcia's headed, man. When he won the title and then beat Jack Perry, to me, I was like, all right, here we go. Here we go, Daniel Garcia. This is your run right here. You can solidify this title, become one of the greatest TNT champions, make Tony Khan's decision to pay you all that money, validate it.
Hmm
So I feel like Daniel Garcia can seriously turn the corner here and become something, man. Seriously.
I think so too, and you know what? Like I said, whether it's whether it's Daniel Garcia or even like a private party winning the tag belts recently. Dude, like I said, in the end, I think this is all John Moxley's plan right here. Or when he first started, he hated the fact that a lot of these AEW guys they were complacent. They didn't grow the past 5 years. And look at Daniel Garcia. He ain't dancing anymore.
Right.
He ain't chucking and jiving anymore. He's all business right there. So I have a feeling whenever the whole Death Rider storyline ends, like you're gonna find it out in a roundabout way, like this was Moxie's plan the whole time. With the
Yep.
with the young guys stepping up and taking charge.
Yep. Yep. Definitely, man. Definitely, man.
Hmm
Well, I appreciate you coming on here, man, with me, man. Getting the job done, AEW. But before we get out of here, by it being Thanksgiving and us being in a thankful mood, we would like to give thanks to the entire internet wrestling community, Wrestle Talk, whatever space. We want to thank all of y'all. And I want to give thanks to some creators out there. This world has brought me into people's lives who I never thought I would be. Me and Bald Bro. We doing this show every week now. The community brought us to that. And I just want to give thanks to a couple creators out here who I enjoy, like from the Fem Slam podcast. Shout out Haley. Haley, you dope. Thank you for all the support. Shout out my guy, Wiccan. Thankful for you, brother. I am also thankful for Dominique, Damo for short. Love her content. Y'all check her out. Yapping with Dominique. Make sure you check out Tony from MI. I can't even say MI Crooked Letter. I ain't even gonna Mississippi. I'm just gonna say from Mississippi. Check out Tony. My guy, Big Rose. I'm thankful for him always being a friend to the show. And I'm probably missing somebody, and I'm gonna kick myself later for it. But my whole crew, Holy Shit Podcast, thankful for y'all too. But you, bro, any special thanks you got on this festive evening?
Oh, absolutely, man. First off, thankful to you, man, for bringing me on. Not just your podcast guest, but also doing this Dynamite post recap show. Much appreciated. But also, I mean, listen, this great space in TikTok has brought me like so many new friends, new colleagues. Met up with some great creators. Shout out to Chris and the whole Heals for Life podcast crew. I mean, they gave me my start on this app, and much appreciated. Shout out to the rest of my co-hosts from the group chat wrestling podcast. My boys across the pond in England. Shout out to them. Shout out to Richie Mars. Shout out to Chrissy, to BC, to Hot Take Joe, the Familia. Shout out to my love Shayna. Like, this app brought me the love of my life, Shayna. I mean, talk about a huge blessing right there. Shout out
Shout
to
out to Love.
exactly. Shout out to Light Skin Guys and Deadrian, Thomas Creed. Shout out to Ash. We do our Friday night watch alongs with us, SmackDown, TNA, New Japan, everything. I mean, damn, if any names I forgot, I apologize. But thank you for everyone who's watching here. I mean, I feel blessed, and I feel year had its ups and downs, personal wise, but you know what? I think made me a better man, and it's gonna make me a better content creator, better everything going into 2025. And once again, thank you to everyone I mentioned, and apologize to anyone I missed.
Same here. Thank you to you all. And we pray that you guys are on to a great 2025 creating content here in Wrestle Talk. But till next time, it's your boy ABE from DET.
I am that ball bro from NYC.
And you've been tuned in to the Holy Shhh Podcast, AEW post show. See y'all next time. Peace.